I think going into the project, a lot of folks who heard about it thought, this is great, IDEO will design a really great, cool product. They've done fantastic product design. But the reality is that what was needed here wasn't necessarily the innovation of a cool product, but more introducing an approach to innovation that these organizations could use and apply for their own needs. So their role was really to help organizations understand how to do customer-centered design. How do you take ideas that you start out with, like delivering safe drinking water in a rural community, and begin to test out ideas, to prototype basically, and figure out what works, what doesn't, how do you tweak them. And basically to look at the customer as a partner in the process, not a beneficiary, not someone who's sort of grateful because you've delivered this fancy new thing, but as someone who's part of that process of iteration. So what we started with was sort of a brainstorming session, a workshop in India, where we shared a bunch of different ideas, things that had been tried by other organizations, problems that we'd observed, things that were sourced from the organizations that were at the workshop, but also from other countries, from other geographies within India, and let people kind of play around with these ideas. So what might work for them, what were combinations of ideas that might work. You know, there was ideas of different delivery methods, different storage methods, cards, brainstorming sessions, exercises, and the idea was for people to draw on what they had seen on the ground to come up with an idea that they wanted to test. The next step was to do these pilot projects, and again, part of the work that IDEO did was to help them design their pilot in a way that would allow them to do customer-centered design. So it wasn't to say, let's sit in a room and come up with a perfect idea. It was more like, how do we begin to iterate and try things out and engage with the customer so that the end result of the pilot project is an idea that really works. That methodology is something that IDEO has, I think, really perfected. And there's almost a philosophy behind it, which is that the customer is the sort of source of innovation and feedback. So that was the role that they played, and it's something that has had a big impact on the organizations involved, because they now see the value in rapid prototyping and customer-centered design. And I think it has the potential to have a big impact in the social sector, to move away from the idea that you can develop a solution in isolation and then deliver it, and moving towards a model that's much more about customer-centered design and building on customer feedback as you try to figure out what works.